Boy, that sounds appetizing, right? Bananas and fungus. Mmm.
Fungus that is wiping out the world's bananas is now in the Western Hemisphere. Officials from the Colombian Agricultural and Livestock Authority have confirmed that the tropical race 4 fungus has spread to the country's Cavendish banana plantations. Cavendish bananas dominate the global export market. The Cavendish are a monoculture, meaning they have identical genetics and are therefore equally vulnerable to the fungus. Food producers tend to raise crops with little to no gene diversity in order to grow fruits and vegetables efficiently and at a lower cost. Panama disease tropical race 4, also called TR4, is spread through infected planting material as well as infested soil and water, according to promusa.org, a platform that shares information related to bananas. Once the fungus is in the soil of the Cavendish banana plant, it stops water from entering the plant, essentially disrupting its vascular system. The infected plants eventually stop producing fruit. According to promusa.org, the TR4 fungus cannot be removed from the plantation soil by use of fumigants, a type of pesticide for fields, or by fungicides, a type of chemical to destroy fungus. The website suggests rotating the banana plants with fungus-resistant crops, such as leeks, in order for bananas to continue to be produced in the same soil. According to National Geographic, the TR4 fungus was first identified in Taiwan and has since been found in Southeast Asia, Australia, the Middle East, Africa, and now in Latin America. This is not the first time the banana industry has faced this kind of crisis. In the 1950s, the Gros Michel was the main variety of banana grown for export. It was declared commercially extinct in 1965 due to a different strain of the Panama disease. Gros Michel trees were burned down, and it was replaced by the Cavendish, which was immune.
Thank you for the host, Cat Scratch.
To that disease.
All right, so now we get to the story. Let me see. Bananas are the world's most popular fruit and a major source of food for millions of people that's threatened by a fungus called Fusarium wilt topical race 4, or TR4. It's a version of Panama disease which was first identified in a banana plant in 1874. The fungus gets into the roots and can kill plants as it clogs up their vascular system. A commonly type of, like they covered, the Gros Michel was susceptible to the Panama disease. So the type was replaced with another variety of bananas, the Cavendish banana. The fungus was spotted on the plants at a plantation in Colombia in June of this year, and a PCR test identified it. So it is in Colombia. It has been confirmed. They will analyze the samples from the suspect bananas, and then will be completed by Wageningen University, and yes, I butchered the heck out of that. I know I did. And Keegene in a few weeks. This is going to pinpoint where the fungus came from, whether it's tourists migrating farm work or moving farm machinery from one farm to another. Colombia has launched a massive effort to try and contain the fungus, but the spread is inevitable. It migrates easily when infected plants are moved from one place to another, and it can also move through soil and water. So, yeah, containing this is going to be a bear and a half. The soil is very difficult to contain. Fernando Garcia Bastidas, a plant pathologist who led the TR4 testing effort on the Colombian samples, told Nature, "Who knows how many cars and people have entered that farm and carried the fungus elsewhere? TR4 is practically impossible to remove once it's arrived," Garcia Bastidas added. Certain types of biomass might help stop the fungus from growing in infected soil, and the Honduras Foundation for Agricultural Research in La Lima and other groups are trying to create T4-resistant bananas. So, I like my bananas. I don't want to get rid of my bananas. Please fix the bananas, thank you. All right, here we go. Women! We're in the news, sorta. Family history of diabetes linked to increased bone mineral density. The association between type 2 diabetes and increased fracture risk is well documented. However, little was known about the possible effect of family history on diabetes on bone mineral density. A study from China now confirms that a history of first-degree family members with diabetes is linked to increased bone muscle density as well as to insulin resistance. Results are published. Well, thank you for following the channel, Mrs. Tracy Bowl, and welcome, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Let's see here. Results are published online in Menopause, the Journal of North American Menopause Society. Because patients with type 2 diabetes are at an increased risk of fracture, understanding the early pathophysiology, I think I got that right, of altered BMD could be critical in the development of preventative strategies for diabetic osteoporosis. Strong evidence has revealed normal to high BMD in most patients with type 2 diabetes. No data have been published to date that demonstrate whether BMD is altered in persons with first-degree family history of diabetes. So they're still trying to figure out the lineage or family tree of the linking of the hereditary stuff for type 2 and bone muscle density. This new study involving nearly 900 normoglycemic postmenopausal women, in other words, normal glycemic index, and people that have already gone through menopause, was found that the BMD of the lumbar spine and femoral neck was significantly higher in participants with first-degree family history of diabetes than those without such history, even in women with normal blood glucose levels. So, lumbar spine is the lower back, where you tend to hurt if you're sitting in a chair that doesn't particularly like that particular reason. Femoral neck would be around the femoral artery, those particular vertebrae right here. Yeah, significantly higher bone muscle density. So bone, right? I'm saying that right. No, bone mineral density. Bone mineral density. Bloopers all through the article. Welcome to my show. It's not an official stream without at least one blooper. Nobody said I was a professional reporter. Let me see. Diabetes and those with such history, even in women with normal blood glucose levels. This study shows an association between family history of diabetes and increased bone density in postmenopausal women. This finding may be related to higher insulin levels in these women with a hereditary predisposition to diabetes because insulin has a bone-building effect. These women are at increased risk for developing diabetes, which is associated with skeletal fragility and increased fracture risk, says Dr. Stephanie Fabian, NAMS medical director. So what they're saying is, if you have, particularly high mineral density in the femoral region and in the lumbar region, and your family has a history of type 2 diabetes, then chances are you're at risk for getting the type 2 diabetes as well, if I understand this article correctly. So please be on the lookout for that. And as women, we also have to take care of our health. So please don't forget those periodic screenings for breast cancer, regular checkups, and get a physical once a year. Please take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will. And that's another video down. If you liked it, there's this. If you didn't like it, there's that. There's a subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. If you're not sure, there's more content you can watch before you make that all-powerful decision of clicking the red bell and making it go dark. There's also a bell that's just about as fickle as a pregnant woman in a candy aisle when she's got a craving or she's hungry, and because it only works whenever it feels like it. But the bell's there. In the description below is all the ways that you can support this channel, as well as links to blogs and other channels and so on and so forth. So, until next time, guys, take care of yourselves.